So this is Dunusoor versus Sinusoidal. This is both brand new players to the academy. And we've got purple yellow versus blue yellow. Alright, both are running turn of season, so they're going for just sort of stability and card draw. We've got Tong Foot Soldiers, Pocket Instances, Land and Colossus. So this just sort of looks like a mid-rangey aggressive thing. These trade fairly well. Some Alpha Strikey is kind of nice. Other side, we've got Bulwark, Giant Stairway, a bit of Rune of Denial, which is very nice in the current meta. And you've got 3 of your pups and Serpent. Okay. This feels a bit like whatever I have. And as a starting hand, that is shit. Like, I'm so sorry, Sinusoidal. This is not great. That is close to as bad as you could have asked for, I imagine. Whereas this is a very good hyper-aggressive start. So... If I had to predict off just the opening hand and the fact that this fucking video is only 3 minutes long, I'm gonna say this is Dunusoor's game. We get a Cloud Scale Drake, so now he's got a good turn 3 drop. Mind you, he's going to require another yellow to pull it off. He does go the Axolotl first. Good. Okay. Axolotl's not a great card. Let's get that out of the way. It's not. It's not fantastic. Because of how prevalent Rush is in the meta at the moment. The second you know you're not versing something Rushy, yellow, very unlikely. Yellow-red basically isn't a pairing. The second you see that, you're like, alright, Axolotl's a safer play. If I had seen red or orange drop, even blue drop first, well, blue did drop first, but I would go Tong Foot Soldiers first. Moving on. Oh, I remember why I like this deck. It's agile. This deck has a lot of agile packed into it so that he can just get around minions, which is fair. It doesn't quite work as a deck type, but it's not bad at all. And this Axolotl's just going to start stacking health. He's versing yellow, so Misanthropia is the great equalizer of all things. I mean, yes and no. I do get it in that if you put something like that across from an Axolotl, he could essentially keep it at 2 health forever. Because he will swing in and he will burn. So he'll always be at that 2 health. So, yeah, if you want this to die, absolutely. So, not a bad call on his positioning there. And he's doing the long-term play, right? In a situation where you have this, you're like, I can block the same amount of damage. Look at what it's going to give you most in the long term as well. That is going to be a trade. Whereas across from the Axolotl, it's not. So, you know, we've learnt about reading the effects on the table, reading all the cards, etc., right? We've learnt about controlling as many lanes as possible. We know this shit. So now we're looking at things like looking at what will give you the most long-term advantage, which this is the right call. Gets Potspringer as a rush, that'd be a waste. Does he go Shinobi? Yeah, good. Shinobi's a good call. Just the damage the scrolls can generate is actually kind of nutty, if you can get it off. The thing is that stealth minions are largely hated against and will get rushed down pretty quickly, but Shinobis can generate a lot of value very quickly. It's essentially 4 damage for 1 cost. Did I miss my game yet? No, not at all, my friend. You are second up, I believe. We are in start of the first game. And welcome to the stream. So, Shinobi's the right call. Yeah. Agile, it's what, like a 2-5 for Cloud Drake, whereas that is 4 damage for 1, essentially. We haven't managed to apply a ton of pressure. Wait a minute. Did he attack with the Axolotl? Wait. I think he did. The health total moved, so... Yes. Okay. Whew, that's alright then. So we are hitting the point where this deck is going to start to come online. Dogs, bulwarks, etc., etc. Giant stairways. Yes, I'm currently in Australia. Yes, it is currently 3:30 in the morning, and I'm just starting the stream. That usually goes for about 3 hours. I'm aware. I kind of like this call. It's not a lot of damage, and unless you can block all 3 lanes or stop the Shinobi... Oh, we got Sinusoidal. It's going to take me forever to learn how to pronounce that name, I'm sorry. You will later regret burning that Cataclysm, alright. I still think you'd want to be applying pressure to something like the Shinobi. 4 damage for 3 is nothing to be sneezed at. I get that you're trying to race, you can clear there and keep it fairly persistently clear. Bear in mind, you don't... Yeah, that's a great point. And he does have the infuse, so it's reasonable to assume it's smoke. Lazar stepping in. There's the champion player for you, ladies and gents. He goes Tong, which is a great trade-in for him. That's fantastic. And goes the Cloud Drake, absolutely. That'll block snakes forever. And we'll just be able to swing into these 2 lanes, so not a bad idea at all. Gets himself a Flame Scroll, doesn't have the mana to cast, swings with Axolotl, absolutely. Bulwarks to prevent the trade. Yeah, that prevents. And get himself a card, absolutely. Draws, what does he get? Sapo. I'd almost feel like playing Norn Data Core at this point, because you're going to start trading minions in, losing things. Getting the mana might help you get to things like Sapo earlier. Especially if you burn Bulwark, sacrifice a snake, you can Sapo. It just provides you some flexibility. I feel like Wind is the rarest these days, Flockle. I feel like no one plays Wind. People play Fire more than Wind at this point. Smoke is easily most common though. It's not even negotiable. Goes for a second Bulwark. I think Norn would have been the better call. Again, just because of the stated flexibility in it. Mind you, he is hitting you in face for a lot. So... The problem with something like this is that without a Thunderclap or a Misanthropia, something that clears, he's got a lot of board presence, and that board presence can essentially ignore your board presence, unless you set up in a certain way. Oh, that flavor is gonna hurt. Yeah, and he's building these up. The second you're in range, he's just gonna unload with them. He Foul Harvests, play Norn Data Core and a Blackened Jotun. Now he knows he just knows what that is for a while, gets Body Cross from it. Boxbringer drops to blight it down. That'll only do... There you go. And that is a man who looks at the maths on blight and knows how to do it well. Whew. Whew. You'd want to burn the Bulwark anyway to potentially get 4 yellow next turn of Foul Harvest into Sapo. Yeah. That's exactly what we were going on about. Yeah, Oh well, this is why the Academy is here. Norn Data Core is one of the better enchantments you can get down, especially if you can get it down early. The amount of mana you can generate off it is actually batty. Yeah. And that is pretty much lethal, unless you can block 3 lanes, and these 2 lanes were something that can't be killed by the Axolotl. You are pretty much done. Sure, but... Nani? Yeah, and that does happen. You know, sometimes you're looking at the cards, you see a line of play, and you do it. And then you do it again the next turn, you do it again the next turn. Then suddenly, you need to switch to your other... You need to switch to your other colour, and you haven't burnt enough. I've been caught by that more than once, and I'm in... So, don't feel bad about that. It is one of... Probably, I'd say it's one of the last things you learn, because that's about, like... Kind of. Deck prediction, and probability, and yada yada yada. Infusers, swings, that's your non-data core dead, and that is you dead. You. Yeah, not much you could do there. I'll give the man his victory screen. Dunusoor's the winner. So, not a great opening hand. The deck is... We're talking about Sinusoidal here. Not... I kind of don't get what the deck is doing. It's got a bit of mid-range value in the dogs, but they're not great. I feel like... And be honest here, is this just a what I have deck? I did miss that Summer kept that alive. But at least he forced it to be a trade, which is just as good. Yeah, I feel like this is the moment here you lost. The second you saw that Sapo, that wasn't getting burnt. I was trying for a sort of mid-range tempo deck. Yeah. The thing about snakes is you kind of need to all in on it. You need to invest into them to make them worth it. Otherwise, it's a 3 yellow that's kind of just blocking up your deck. It's not early enough for what you're trying to use it for, which is to slow down and buy you time. Right? At 3 yellow, Meso Libre is going to do that better. The 1/4 with Blight is going to do that better. And that's a lower cost. That's a 2, I think. Right? I don't mind in that you're going like sort of a strong mid, you're doing a lot of mana cheat. Interesting idea, right? But I don't think that has a place if that's what you're trying to do. Yeah. I like Rune of Denial as a tech. Absolutely have that around for when you go up against Heaven Hell. Or even things like Angel Loop, which is rarer. Dunusoor's deck is very interesting. I don't mind it at all. It has Agile, which is difficult to play around. The minions aren't the strongest, but the Shinobi of Fire and getting them is great. He's got very strong early trade-in. He's got Pentacle of Flavors for mopping up, and it's just such a force multiplier. Lantern Colossus for wave clearing. He's got Poxbringer for Rush Blight on big minions. Best case scenario is turn 3 Foul Harvest into Black and Jotun, and turn 4 into Hyperborean. Absolutely. Oh, I get that. Yeah, and I guess the snakes are for the sacrifice. Here's an idea. Maybe switch out the enchantments and go Fires of Creation. Go Olimar Rings, non-data cores, and get fires. And then you can sacrifice your Forgelings until they're high value. Give it a shot. It's harder to play. Fires of Creation is the hardest path to play, bar none. Put that out there right now. I like Dunusoor's deck, at least what we've seen of it. Jade Primer as well. Beautiful. And you've got more than enough to guard. Things that can get large health quickly, things with large health, with Agile as well. I actually don't mind this at all. Do I think it could get you to champion? With some tweaks, I think it could if you were like a genuinely really good player. I don't hate that in the slightest. The only thing I question is Pocket Instance. Just because your damage values aren't high on agile minions. So I'm wondering kind of why that's in there. I'd almost be tempted, if you want an enchantment in there, I would go for Neo Gangna. Get yourself some watered. Because that's going to be one of the biggest issues, is people doing non-combat damage to clear you out quickly. Magmators and the like to just clear your board. Damn, you know what we might do? I might actually go into the academy. Where would Dunusoor have posted his deck? Would that have gone to me personally? I just want to see what else is in there. His deck is interesting. It looks fun. It looks kind of fresh. Here we go. I cast Agility by Dunusoor. Yeah, so it's definitely agility-minded deck. So he has Clay Effigies for card draw. Excellent. Golden Axolotls. I will post a link for anyone that wants to read along. We've got Poxbringers. Okay, I don't like Magpie Squad Leader. I get that you're just trying to use it to buff things, but it's 2 slots that you can use on a lot better cards. It's pretty trash. Wonder Drug, fantastic. Again, Magpie Sniper. Oh, I guess it's agile and no retaliatory with the large value. And you've only got the 1-off. Look, fine. Misanthropia, only 1-off? Yeah. I don't like Pocket Instance, as we've discussed. Tong Foot Soldiers is fine. I get that you're trying to make up for low values, but I don't feel like a deck doing this wants to be quick. You are all about being impossible to play against, right? You can't block this. Your only option is to kill it. So I'd almost look at increasing your survivability. Go more control, go more kill cards, go more life gain, go more card draw, and just overwhelm him by never having an empty board, rather than having large values to kill him quickly. That's not your specialty. So, no juiced. Crane Girl isn't good. I get that it's there as a low-cost agile. Yeah. Shinobi Fire, Back Alley Ronin. Pretty good with this deck, simply because you are always doing damage. I get that. Pentacle, love it. Tarragon, you've only got the 1-off. Lantern, only 1-off. Jade Puma, 4-off. I would cut... I'd maybe cut Magpire. I would definitely cut all of the Magpires. I would cut the Pocket Instances, I would cut the Juiced, and that allows you room for more, like, overrunning, in case you need it. Lantern Colossuses, things like more Misanthropias, some Meso Libres wouldn't go amiss. I feel like you're maybe better served with Impel. With Impel, you're able to essentially cover 5 lanes with Agile instead of 3. Makes you just about impossible to block. Means you can also utilize the Meso Libres a lot better. What else? I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. And you know what? Seeing as we've done that, we'll do our due diligence and go Sinusoidal as well. A link for anyone interested. I won't always go through the decks. But seeing as we've got both the lads here, I might as well put a bit more effort in. Seeing as I can actively chat to them, you know. Listen, Boark is great. I don't know if it's 4-off great. Sapo, good. The Kadehos just kind of don't do a ton for when they come out, right? At 4 mana, 5 mana, when you start to gain, 1 life because I summoned a minion at 5. They're kind of getting answered immediately anyway. You've got Olimar Rings, Black Kadehos, Serpentan Maze. Yeah. And you've fallen into the trap that a lot of new players do, and I fell into for a long time. You do not need to max out everything because they're there. Like, you do not need 3 giant stairways, basically even in a deck that utilizes them. You really only want 2. You don't want 3 Black and Jotuns. You'd definitely be looking at something like... I would give Fires of Creation a go. I can't promise it would work, but it might help. The thing about Fires of Creation is you really do need all the artifacts in your collection to make it work. Luckily, there are a few mythics, but it wouldn't be that bad. And you've got the important one. Your deck is definitely the weaker. Your deck could take an entire rework. But I don't mind it. I don't mind the idea of trying to do a mana cheat deck. Yeah, not terrible. Alright, that is game 1, ladies and gentlemen. So that is Dunusoor. I will take down the winner quickly. Boom. Alright, give me just a second. I'm gonna go get myself a wine. Because fucking cat hair. Ah, alcohol wipes. I love you so much. Oh. Get away from my nose and face, cat hair, please. Ugh, man. Alrighty. Where are we at, chat? I took out the Cadejos after this match. There we go. Not very much early game there. Need things to Foul Harvest and use Data Core. Yeah, he's definitely revolving them around the snakes, the serpent dance. But you've basically got nothing before 3 that's of any use. So, you've got Corn and you've got Player for